Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first item on our agenda is our auditor's financial report. Bob.
Okay, we began 2022 with a general fund cash balance of $50,823,611. With miscellaneous revenue and property tax, we had a total funds available of $68,866,830. And then when you deduct from that the encumbrances, the 2022 budget, the minimum balance the council has approved, and then add back in a little bit for unused estimated budget, our total funds available are $4,162,052. So far this year, we've granted $18,792 of general fund appropriations. We have $58,426 requested today, and we deduct the miscellaneous expenditures. Our total funds available as of today is $4,119,329. The next page should be your revenue report. The only thing that I really marked here was 0291, just as a little note to show that we did receive the public defender reimbursement, the quarterly reimbursement, which was a good. So now we've received 2, and we're at 53%. So I think our estimate was pretty good. We are ready to send in the next quarter's reimbursement, so that one will come, and that will be a little bit less than the 369, but it's still pretty close to where we're estimating that we should be. I think that's all I had on the revenue. The next section there is fund balances. The general fund is, of course, is fund number 1,000. And our ending balance for the end of April was $4.5 million there, which is below our minimum balance. But of course, we will be having property tax settlement here in the next by the end of June, so that will bring that back up. So that's really not a concern. 1138 is cum cap. I wanted to mention that one because that one has a negative balance right now. But again, cum cap is a property tax related fund. And so we could do an advance draw and get that out of the negative, but it does show negative now, but that's not really a concern, knowing that we will have a good chunk of money come in for a cum cap here shortly. So it probably at the end of next month, it obviously will be even more negative. Moving down to 4710, the health insurance fund. That one we did receive more money in than what we spent out, so we're at $9.369 million there. We did start the year, and I believe it was like $8.2 million, so we have picked up over $1.1 million in cash so far, but that can come in, that can go very, very quickly, but we are still doing very well there. And last year we did spend more than what we brought in, but part of that was we moved $1 million over from the health insurance fund to the general fund to support health insurance, and we're not doing that in 2022, so that does helpful. I believe that is all I had on the notes that I had for fund balances. So if there's any questions on that.
Any questions from Bob? Nope. All right. Our treasurer's report was in your packet. Obviously, Jennifer and her staff are busy upstairs.
And Jennifer had sent an email to me about the interest rates, and just as far as looking at this first sheet here, Fed funds did go up by 0.5%, so we are expecting, or maybe that has already happened, that first merchant's rate, where you can see that is basically 0.6, and there's a little bit 0.55 for the sweep, but 0.6, that will go up to 1.1%. Centeer will go up that 0.5%, so it will go up to 0.95. So we're basically looking at the interest rates are going to about double. And then I think that she has not heard yet from First Source where that is going to go. But
any questions? Hopefully not, since I'm not going to be able to answer them. All right. With that, do we have any public comment related to any of our agenda items before us this morning? Hearing none, we'll move on to our Resolution 2022-14CL, confirmatory resolution.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 2022-14-CL.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the confirmatory resolution 2022-14-CL. Discussion.
So just as part of the process, you'll want to allow public comment. We advertised. I don't know if anybody's here to talk for or against it, but that's...
Anyone here to talk for or against?
And I do know Sue Lassiter from Triclinic. I talked to her just a second ago. She's in the audience if you have any questions for her. But
Would you want to come talk about it a little bit?
If you press the button.
Oh, that's right.
No, somebody turn on for you. Okay, you're good.
I'm on, okay. So as a reminder, Triclinic Labs is a lab that does chemical testing in town, and we have applied for this abatement to help us hire at least 4 or 8 people over the next 2 years and expand into a strip mall that has been vacant for several years and purchase $1.5 million of additional lab equipment to meet the needs of our current customers and also expand our product lines. Just as a note too, Doug sent me the clawback yesterday, so I'll read that this morning when I get to work and get that signed and back to you.
yeah, there's some wires crossed, and she didn't get that until yesterday. And just procedurally, the clawback's incorporated into the resolution, so you just need to pass the resolution, and you don't need to do anything separate about the clawback.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for Sue? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote. Is it just a normal voice vote?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
I will declare that has passed. Thank you very much. Then we have a couple of compliance statement of benefits. First for Apex Warehouse and Logistics.
I'll make a motion, we approve the compliance statement of benefits with Apex Warehouse and Logistics LLC, CF1, real property.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the statement of benefits for Apex Warehouse and Logistics, both the CF1 and real property. Discussion. Anyone here from Apex? Just want to give a brief update of
Yeah, sure.
how things are going.
Yeah, everything status quo since still. So I think employees, everything has been retained, couple added. All tenants are still in place. Salaries have gone up for everybody as they have in the last 6 months. So, yeah, everything's kind of rolling along.
Okay. Any questions? All right. If there are no other points of discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dormy LLC.
I'll make a motion, we approve the compliance with statement of benefits for Dormy LLC / Highway Safety Services as tenant CF1 real property.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the Dormy LLC Highway Safety Services as tenant for the CF1 and real property. Discussion. Is anyone here with them? You want to come up and give us just a brief update?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Mike Madrid, Highway Safety Services and Dormy. I want to thank you for your approval of our request in 2019. We moved into our new building in January of 2021, And things are going well. We're increasing our revenue at about a 10 to 15% rate. And with the projections we see from the DOT and the county city infrastructure plan, for the next 5 years should be really well, do really well. But thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is approved.
I have a procedural question.
Yes.
Do we need to vote on both of the Apex Warehouse statements, or just the one?
Do we?
There were two in the packet.
I thought you called them all, both
I
up.
called them both.
You called them
Yeah,
both when you did?
yes.
Okay, I missed that. Thank you.
I'm sorry if that was not understood well. Okay, next we have our consent agenda, which includes our approval or meeting minutes from April.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion concerning any of those items? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have the prosecutor Fund 2560 appropriation.
I'll make a motion for pretrial diversion fund 2560 appropriation in the amount of $15,000.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Hamilton, a second from Councilwoman Dolam to approve the pretrial diversion fund 2560 appropriation in the amount of $15,000. Discussion. Doesn't look like Pat is here.
So this is really to pay for the fuels for the office vehicles for the investigators in the vehicles in the pool.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have Sheriff.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Sheriff's Sale Fund 4009 appropriation in the amount of $20,000.
Second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray to approve the Fund 4009 appropriation of $20,000. Discussion.
Yeah, this is just so we can pay for the service provided. So it's like $100 a sale.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have Fund 4012
I'll make a
appropriation.
motion that we approve the appropriation for the Canine Support Fund 4012 in the amount of $1,000.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray to approve the Canine Support Fund 4012 appropriation of $1,000. Discussion.
It's right there so they can eat. We got to feed the pups.
That's right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have a salary statement for the sheriff.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2022 salary statement for the sheriff for the part-time communication officer up to $21 an hour.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray to approve the salary statement for sheriff up to $21 per hour for the part-time communication officer. Discussion.
So what this is, right now ours is a flat rate. It doesn't say, there's other departments that says up to. This gives us the opportunity to raise it and then offer those that already have experience dispatching to work at a higher rate than what they would normally. Currently, we're one dispatcher short, so hopefully we don't have to utilize it as much, but this, I think, gives us a little more power in bringing people in.
Okay. Any other questions for the sheriff? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Carrie Holmes' salary statement, that's being pulled, right?
Yeah, I talked to Rebecca Humphrey yesterday, and she no longer needs this, so she wishes to have this pulled.
So that won't be moving on. Next up, we have TEMA, 4940 appropriation.
I'll make a motion that we approve the appropriation for the Hazard Warding Fund 4940, $80,000, safety, machinery, and equipment.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray to approve the Hazard Warning Fund 4940 appropriation of $80,000.
Good morning. This is just the funds we use to repair, replace, and maintain our outdoor warning sirens.
Okay. Any questions for Smokey? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Fund 8485, grant appropriation for the Health Department.
Make a motion, we approve Workforce Development COAG Fund 8485, SF22, and the amount presented.
Good morning. I'd like to first.
We need a second.
I need a second.
Second.
Don't want it to die for a lack of a second. Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Vernon. Discussion.
I'd like to introduce Amy Irwin. She's our new administrator for the health department, so she's going to do this, and I'll be right here if she needs it, but I think she's going to do just fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome, Amy.
Nice to meet you all. So we have a school liaison grant, $440,000. It would provide a full-time school liaison for LSC schools, a part-time for our private schools. It would bridge the gap between things that we have lost during COVID, so vision screenings, hearing screenings, dental immunizations that people have not gotten out to get. So they would be within the schools. We do a needs assessment for our area to see what we need, and then they would utilize the services and stuff that we have at the health department to update their immunizations and that kind of thing. So it would provide equipment. We'd need a couple laptops for the 2 employees that would go out, and supplies.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Amy? Or other
Amy,
discussion?
any work with the TSC schools or other school districts in the area?
No, they declined.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a general fund appropriation for the assessor.
I'd like to make a motion to approve General Fund 1,000 in the amount of $47,200.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Richard, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the general fund appropriation for the assessor in the amount of $47,200. Discussion.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, guys. This is a continuation of what we presented at the 2021 budget hearing. Asked that it go through the whole process, but at the time I presented information about how, compared to 10 counties with 50 to 100,000, just over 100,000 parcels, that we were the leanest assessor's office next to Hendricks County, so number 2 in both total cost per parcel and total cost as a percentage of AV. And that was compared to 2-year-old data. What I was trying to do at the time was create clean up the job description so they match what folks are doing. We have a lot of people that are generally customer service that do a huge variety of tasks, many that don't involve customer service. Cleaning that up was important to us. Also creating an individual to keep up with commercial and industrial field staff, including like all the new factories, you see these big cranes, mixed-use buildings, from both a inspection and valuation standpoint. And then also, it was to increase compensation for top-level managers at the assessor's office. When the county assessor's office absorbed the township assessor's office, I was part of that, and at the time they created department-level managers for the assessor's office that at the time were classified as Pat 5s. At the time, the total county's value was $10 billion. As we broach $15 billion, assessor managers are paid less than we were then and have more responsibilities than ever. So generally, I thought that the office was undercompensated as far as some of the managerial oversight, people making complex decisions in appeals and valuation with large monetary consequences, and also managing vital technological resources. And so that's what I proposed. It's kind of gone through its paces. What's presented to you today was approved by the HR committee. It's not what I requested. It's some compromise thereof, and but it's a step in the right direction in my opinion, and so I ask for your support.
Any other discussion?
Just one clarification, as Eric is talking about the process. in order for his employees to be compensated at a higher rate, it's just not because he wants to give them more money. I'm reviewing the job description and actually putting in the job descriptions what the employees are actually doing, and it did go through the process to come back at a higher rate. So they are being paid for the actual work that they're doing, because I didn't want any misunderstanding that because Eric wanted to pay his people more, that we paid him more.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
let me clarify further, too. That position, that top-level manager position that I was referencing specifically is called a senior deputy position. I actually held that job. Those jobs existed. You know, this was not my brainchild. These were created when those offices consolidated to the county assessor's office. As someone who's held those jobs, I thought it was fair compensation for the responsibilities I had, so I had personal experience with that. Those jobs were lost when a lot of the office was expanded as far as amount of people and shifted downward to where there was more workers and less empowered top-level managers. I'm trying to harness technology and want to bring those existing jobs that did exist back. And now, at the time in 2010, I believe, when those were created, they were Pat 5s. Now they're still Pat 5s. So that part hasn't changed because it's based on those responsibilities. So thank you for that.
Right.
Forgot about that part.
So Eric has done a good job with really looking at and documenting what people are actually doing now, so they are compensated for their actual work, so, thanks.
Did you have something, Bob?
Yeah, well, as you can see on that form, this is dated back in February, so this is, he just submitted the same form as what we had before. I'm thinking, you know, my assumption is that these positions, I think, Eric, you're going to post these jobs, right?
That's the process, correct?
And so with that, I'm saying that there would be 15 pays left, and just going through all the different, this is the what was budgeted and what he's now proposing here. If we use the same sort of employee count as what we have right now, I think we only need $1,600, and I've rounded that up a little bit in salary. Is there one position that is, no, maybe I don't even have that here, not filled? Do you have a position that's not filled right now?
Yeah, I think we're waiting for this to shake out before.
And so you are planning on filling that this year?
Yeah, once well, depending on what happens here today.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you were not going to fill that, that's where I would say you need $1,600. If you're going to fill that, I would say 26.6 instead of the 36.
36.1 is what the
I
salary
think
line
that
is.
should be sufficient, because that's going to take care of all of your needs, and not have any extra appropriation out there that's not going to be required.
So with
Yeah, I agree. We just didn't probably
Yeah, I
calculate
know, we
it.
just didn't go through all that math, and so,
So we could change the 47.2, which is the total appropriation requested now, down to 31,615.
correct.
Would be fine.
Correct.
Is that clear to council? Because of instead of it being back in February, we're now in May. Okay. Do we want to amend the appropriation to reflect that, or what's the desire of those who made the motion?
I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and amend that to request the motion to approve $31,615.
I second that amendment.
Okay. Is that, if their agreement to do so, is that fine to do it that way rather than amending and then?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So we're going to change the number that we're approving to 31,615 instead of the 47,2. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved at the 31,615.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Eric. All right, next we have the salary statement, which reflects the positions as we just changed the budgeted amount to be. So there is the listing of all of the positions. Yeah, that looks like it's correct based upon what I remember. Do I have a motion to approve the salary statement?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the salary statement for the assessor in the amount of $909,711.
Second?
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Richard, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the salary statement for the assessor in the amount stated. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Next, we have Do It, Lit and Eat It Fund Appropriation.
Make the motion, we approve the Lit Eat It Fund 1112 appropriation, the amount of $20,750.
A second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilwoman Dolam to approve the Do It Fund 1112 appropriation as stated. Hi, Max.
So this fund appropriation request is specifically in order to fix an issue with our current GIS system and infrastructure. We've been experiencing some issues with the response time of our current system as a result of what we now know is a error in the configuration at a very base and framework level. This is something that was put into place several years ago, and it's taken us a while to finally troubleshoot and get down as close to we can as where the problem exists. This will allow us to remedy that issue and provide appropriate response times for users from public safety to general population.
Okay, any other questions concerning that, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you very much. Next, we have Highway Fund 4805 appropriation.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Highway Fund 4805 in the amount of $383,500.
Second?
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Richard, a second from Councilwoman Hamilton to approve the county share of the Surtax Fund 4805 appropriation in the amount of $383,500. Discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is, as is our practice when we've been here before, using the Surtax Fund to make payments of our local share on major federal aid projects. This draw is actually for the County Road 500 North River Road intersection. It's a reimbursement of a compensable water main move in the amount of $360,000. And while we were there, we're also converting leases to purchases because of some of the tax ramifications on personal property. It's becoming advantageous for us to own more and lease less. And that additional $23,500 allows us to convert a skid steer to personal to our property.
Okay. Any questions for Stu? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you. Any committee reports? And we have our other business items that are listed on the agenda there that I think are just for keeping on your calendar and memory of especially the grant fund that was approved back in council. The number is different.
That one, we just want that noted in the minutes. We were of the understanding that that was a state grant, so the number that we give, the 9173, that's a state grant number, but it is a federal grant, so we need to move it down to 8173. But since the minutes from April stated a different grant, we wanted those to match up, so I don't think I need a motion, but just we'll note that in the minutes that there was a change there.
Just a change in number of the actual fund. Any new business? Unfinished business? Commissioner FYI. There's Commissioner Brown.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To pass along, one is next week is National Police Week, begins on Sunday, the 15th, runs through the following Saturday. There's a ceremony to be held at Columbian Park at 11:30 on the 17th. Please feel free to come out and join us. You should have that in your inbox now, the invitation. Also, I'm surprised it hasn't started yet, but there's some work going on on the rooftop that involves, right now, removing a concrete pad that basically encases some iron. It's very loud, and when it starts here in a little bit, you'll know that that's going to be going on for at least a couple of weeks as they wrap up that project. So just an FYI, we did move our help desk down to one of the rooms here to do some work. So it's like any construction project, we're just going to have to tough our way through it. So that's all I have. If you don't have any questions.
Any questions for Tracy? Thank you. Any public comment for us this morning? Seeing and hearing none, I'll take the last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.